Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is my alternative workstation slash standing desk slash whatever. Now, the chair is a bit questionable, but ignore that fact. The basic idea and setup is based on server racks, kinda, except of course it's not a server rack, it's just a cheap yeah. So the basic concept is the PC would go in the back. Of course it wouldn't have a case, you would just screw everything directly to the metal preferably, and you could do really epic water cooling and other things. This whole monitor setup here is made basically on standard shelf slides. I'll show how that works a bit later. The basic setup is very simple. Just sit down, of course split ergodox keyboard. There are better options, but well, that's what I could afford more or less without the case, as you can see. But anyway, this is more or less what I see normally. Left hand mouse, right hand. Now the concept originally was that this would not be one table, it would actually be like just a direct attachment for the keyboard, the mouse probably on a small pad around here, of course at different level to the keyboard or side by side. Not sure actually what I was gonna go for, but never got there obviously. Fortunately I'm moving in a few days, so this is all getting dismantled, which is why I'm making the video. Now, this is a 10-inch iPad screen, of course replacement iPad screen bought off eBay, and here we have the PCB, which basically is mostly just a LED driver and some ports. This of course can be brought up to get out of the way if I need to do something with my hands, of course T for programming as always. And anyway, the table is actually right now not attached because I wasn't sure what the final setup would be. And this of course, and that's part of the concept, is a standing desk. And I'll try to show you now how I change it. So this is a slightly difficult process. I would grab here I would pull on the string as I'm pushing it up, and then just hook on one of these screws. Of course the end plan was to have a winch jack it up. Of course the monitor goes up, and then I would just bring the desk up more or less like this, except the T and the cable makes that a bit more difficult than it should be, and the fact that it's not screwed in. Now of course bringing the monitors up also gives you access to the PC itself. The plan, as I mentioned, was that like you wouldn't really have a regular case, you would just cut out the back part of the case and screw it in, or maybe server rack style, I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, it was different plan. I also wanted multiple PCs here, but never got to that. In case you're wondering, this is, well, this panel, lightning strike, fried the power board, and this is from a completely different monitor. I'm just using the 5-volt output and the inverter on it, and somehow by replacing capacitors I made it work with this completely different panel, miraculously saving me quite a bit of cash actually, although it's not a great panel, it's TN, so yeah. Anyway, maybe a few more details about the construction. This is just some kind of a string, probably nylon inside, I'm not sure. Similar to paraglider strings, it's very strong, no problem holding all the weight. Of course pulleys are expensive, so the only disadvantage of this string is that it's pretty stiff and it likes to twist one way or the other, and it's not the greatest. This was, well, just botched up, kind of from spare parts of this and this, with some lovely mounting for the string. Very questionable, but oh well. And the nylon, the string mounting is just a few screws on the side panel here for a few positions that I thought I might use. Of course, there can be some problems. Like right now, actually, because of I shortened the string a bit, I can't reach this position. That needs a little bit of adjustment, which is pretty easy to do with this setup here. Now, the original plan was to make this a three-way. Well, the original hope was to make it a three-way standing, sitting, lying back desk. Well, it would be really great if I could make this articulate, the whole set of 3 panels articulate this way for standing and this way for lying back. That's of course difficult to do on a budget and considering the weight of these screens. Luckily with this one it's much this one is really light, but well, I didn't want to dismantle all of these and make the extension cables. That's just horrible, and the backlight tends to have problems. Plus this chair does not allow for any articulation, so I would need a proper chair. There were lots of concepts there I had in mind, but of course, as usual, nothing comes to fruition. The main problem with lying, of course, would be that your feet would hit the metal here. So originally I wasn't planning to actually have these here, but they actually kind of were useful for tea and stuff. Tea, I would normally actually just make a pouch here or something. That would be kind of epic, cowboy style. One definite disadvantage for some would be the, let's call it length of the whole thing. With a normal desk it would go probably to about here, and you would sit closer and you have more monitors here, and that would be fine. Here, because the monitors are on this, here you want to sit a little bit further back so that you don't have them right in your face, except for that small one, of course, because it's small. So yeah, there's that. So summarizing the concept and implementation, I don't know, kinda weird. I started appreciating much more having a big desk in a way, even though it tends to get lots of just random stuff on it from all of the projects. But well, okay, my main problem actually is that I don't have any other desk. So if I had that for other projects, that might actually have worked much better for me. I haven't really been like annoyed with it or anything. It's just that I'm not sure it's all that sensible. Like if it was a proper server, well, some server rack that actually had wheels, so you could easily transport it, and that would be nice. I actually used to do that with my flats quite often because I like change apparently. And what else? I don't know, maybe somebody else can figure out whether this is actually what they need or not, or maybe somebody gets inspired to do something much better. That would be lovely. Some advantages are, of course, the cable management. You could theoretically do very nicely and have like a self-contained unit with all of the monitors and all of the computer, like I said, and if it's on wheels you can just move it around the house. Of course it's quite heavy, so that kind of makes that part more difficult. Just think of it as a fridge. Of course this is not anywhere near stiff enough to actually transport in any meaningful way. What else can I say? I don't know.